Good afternoon. I wanted to take a few minutes and share with you a process, a visualization practice that I've been doing over the past few years that just seems like it might be particularly helpful right now. I've stepped away from media and Facebook and a lot of the input from the broader culture for a while, but even in this relative retreat that I'm experiencing, I can still sense all of the energy of frustration and anger and blame and judgment and all of those things that are such a natural response of our ego when life is not flowing in the way that we would have it go. We're all hitting different barriers, different difficulties, different challenges. And for some, it's COVID plus fires plus smoke plus employment issues. So there's a whole lot that is welling up in us. And with that natural instinct being to blame it on somebody, um, it just seems like it might be a really good time to look at what if we start drawing some of that energy back out of the collective, because the more we feed the human collective perception of the world with anger, frustration, blame, separation, all of those different tones, the more that that builds, it just builds on itself. The more that we can draw that back, let it be transformed again into harmony, light, life, even joy. The more that those things get folded back into the whole tone of what's going on in the collective right now. So when I first discovered this, I was doing a shamanic journey and just wanted to find a way of pulling back those thoughts, comments, internal judgments of other people that in any way diminished their life and their energy. Now, you might not think of this one, but pity is one of the most difficult, heavy energies that we can possibly place on someone else. Feeling sorry for someone else can add a tremendous weight to them in a time when they're already going through a difficult circumstance. So, kind of pick the emotions, pick the expressions that you might want to work with. And in the journey, what I did was I asked to experience the fact that there is a power beyond myself. For me, it's taking on more and more the name Gaia, the spirit of creation, the spirit of Earth as Mother. Whatever that sacredness is to you, sense that that sacred nature is what transforms the energies behind our emotional responses and behind our wounds and traumas and those of other people. So I envisioned that as I called these things back, these harms that I had done to others back, that before they ever reached my being, that they would be transmuted, they would be changed, they would be shifted in their energy back into love and light and creativity, and that would pass straight through me and down into the earth. So I was standing out in the field next to our home here, and the stars were out, and it was gorgeous. And I simply began inviting back all of the harmful thoughts, all of the harmful comments, all of the diminishing thought forms that I had sent out to, sometimes I was thinking about specific people, other times I was just being very, very broad about to anyone, because there's so much of that we can do in a very unconscious way. And so as I stood there, I just knew that it was fine for me to bring this back. These people don't need to carry this anymore. They don't need to carry all of this other diminishing energy or energy that blocks their ability to thrive that I've sent out. So I, just kind of inviting it back. And at first, there was this feeling of it coming in very small ways, just almost delicate touches of energy coming back and going through me and going back into the earth to support her and nurture her. And then it got bigger. Then they were darts, and then they were arrows, and then they were massive things. But always, as they approached me, there was this sense of this enfolding, loving energy, because this wasn't about me punishing myself for thinking in the wrong way or perceiving other people in a way that wasn't helpful, or even sending out the word darts, the word bullets, the anger and the resentment and whatever else that I've sent out throughout my life. It's about going, I'm ready to claim that back. You don't have to carry it anymore. So it all coming back. And finally, just, stars falling in and through me and down into the earth. So when you are in a situation where you feel ready to look at it and go, I'm not getting anywhere by being enraged by what's going on in the world. I'm not getting anywhere by venting my frustration to anybody who can listen to me. I'm not gaining anything. I'm not feeling any better. I'm not improving anything by figuring out who's to blame and how I'm going to get them to be accountable and how I'm going to make other people behave in the way I want them to behave. What if I turn it around, invite all of those energies out of all of the places I've sent them, and just let them return and be totally transformed and then given to the earth? Now, the other idea is that if you aren't at that place of looking at it as a personal expression, the things that you've expressed and drawing them back, you might want to use the same kind of feeling if you are feeling just bombarded by the negativity of the human collective right now. So that as that energy is headed towards you through news or media or Facebook or your friends or whatever else, and whether that energy is just them venting their anger that you end up feeling and getting stirred up by and pulled off balance by, or if it's them feeling sorry for you because of your particular situation right now, that you might use the same sense of just envisioning whatever that sacred protection is for you, whatever that light and life and love and transforming energy is that can be right there between you and that influx of all of that energy. And trust that we are not created to be the alchemists that transform that energy into light. There is this sacred creative force that does that work for us. So all we're doing is, as this is headed toward me, please let it move through this area of love and light and transformation, so that as it comes into me, it's neutral. It doesn't have the, well, I like to call it Velcro. It doesn't have that ability to pull me into it and to tweak my emotional responses and to get me spinning and to get me into my mental condition patterns of worst case scenarios. That it comes into me and it's, oh, okay. And that doesn't mean that you don't care about the friend who's upset. It doesn't mean that you don't care about what's going on in your own life. But it just means, right now, I'm not going to take on any extra of that. So as it moves into me, toward me, it goes through that, it's transformed, and then again, let it flow through me and just go back down into the earth so that it can be part of the creativity part of the joy, part of the transformation, part of the healing, part of the renewal that we all need so much right now. I hope you find this helpful, and I hope that you find peace along your path. Thank you.